You know, the only kind of spam I like is the spam that comes from a can. Hey, good afternoon. Happy Friday. It's Brandon Devnish from i3D Themes with this week's Interactive number 42, where we share what we're passionate about and what we've been working on here in the i3D Themes Design and Code Labs. So, spam. Nobody likes it. I don't think anybody does. What is the primary motivator for spam? It's usually just money. Either you're trying to sell something or extort something. You know, some of us, you might have heard of the emails from some Nigerian prince that has some money that he needs to get out of country, but he needs your help. Yeah, nobody wants spam. The reason I bring this up is that on July 1st, which is coming up here in about a week, new legislation basically comes into full force in Canada here, and that is the CAN spam legislation. It's a terrible term because it really is can't spam. You're not supposed to spam. Any reasonable person is not going to send out spam, but some people skirt the edges, and what we've this is what the Canadian government sort of came late to the party. But now that they're here, they've put into full force some legislation. So if you're a Canadian entity, a business that sends out emails, this is very, very important to you. It sort of started up in July 1st, 2014, and then we've had 3 years of sort of not quite a grace, but an adjustment period. And there have been cases where there's been some fines levied. This is when it goes into full force, and there have been hundreds of thousands of complaints put in for people that have sent out spam, and it can be pretty costly. I think there can be fines of up to $1 million for sending out spam. So here's the reason I bring this up is because if you're a Canadian organization and you send out emails regularly, you need to be really thinking about making sure that your list is double opt-in, or that you can actually confirm that somebody has said, yes, I want to receive those emails. It was just last week, I was at the chiropractor, and they had said, do you want to receive appointment reminders? Yes, please. That would be nice, by email. That's perfect. That's the kind of information that I want. They said, okay, please fill out this. And I had to check to agree on this little slip of paper that I wanted to receive emails, and I had to sign. And that is what businesses are having to do here. And this is actually really the way it should always be, because you want to respect people's emails through their inbox. I tell you, I hit unsubscribe to a lot of lists, and then the very next week, wouldn't you know it, I'm on a different list for the same business. Now, you can't do this in Canada. In different jurisdictions, like the United States, some businesses can sort of skirt things, and there is different legislation going on across the world. It's going to be really dramatic here in Canada, and because we're basically trying to prevent businesses from doing the sending unsolicited emails for business. That isn't going to stop those Nigerian princes, but certainly from anybody doing things like that in Canada, or even just trying to get drum up business with they got a list of emails from somebody that maybe they can get some business. It's going to really stop that. So you're going to stop getting emails to your inbox quite as dramatically. And even if you're a Canadian organization operating in the United States, sending emails to people from the United States, even if the recipient is from the U.S., you can still get a fine levied against you. So anyways, this is actually why we set up SuperSubmit. SuperSubmit.co is the form handling solution that we provide to people who have purchased a website template. Back in about this time, June 2014, when we learned about the CAN spam legislation, we went, oh no, we have this form handling solution that we let all of our customers use. But there are ways to spoof the emails, and you could actually put somebody else's email that maybe didn't want to get the emails into the form, and that would be bad because they didn't request the information from the forms being sent out. So we said, all right, we got 6 months till January 1st. Here's your warning, and actually we gave 8 months. And in that time, before we shut down that old system called Submit.Server Apps, we built this new system called SuperSubmit, SuperSubmit.co. And what it does is when you sign it up for it, that's the the single opt-in. The second is that you get an email that you verify that you indeed want to receive these emails. Where it's really important is when you set up additional recipients. And so this is basically covering our butts, because we didn't want to be levied with any sort of fines, even though we are the service provider. But it's also protecting your butts as our customer. So we want to make sure that you were protected as well. So we set up the Super Submit system, and that's basically to prevent unsolicited emails going out. So if you are also using a newsletter system, our Numo newsletter system has a double opt-in option as well. So somebody would sign up through the website, type in their email address, and then they get a notification that says, please activate your subscription or your link by clicking on this link. Or subscription to the newsletter, click on the link. So Constant Contact does this as well, MailChimp, pretty much any of the major newsletter provider systems, they also have that. But it's really, really important when you're conducting business online, because you don't like receiving spam. I don't like receiving spam unless it's in a can. My wife just boggles her mind that I'd like it in a can. But totally different story. So if you don't like receiving spam, don't send out unsolicited emails, because your reputation as a business also is at stake. Because, you know, in this day and age of social media, when somebody can very easily go onto any of the platforms that you maybe have a page or an account or some profile and complain about your practices by sending out unsolicited emails, that's really not cool. So be cool and don't send out spam. Obviously, most reasonable human beings, I would say, are very respectful of that sort of thing. And in Canada, of course, the government is stepping in to say, yeah, we're really going to try to prevent this as much as possible, and levy fines against those organizations that are really actively spamming. So anyways, that's my little soapbox thing here, a little informative session. What's been going on here in the i3D Themes? Well, in the design lab, Colin has been working on Cinematic. Now, this is really good news. Cinematic, he's just finishing up the mobile view, tweaking it out, testing it all out, and then next week, sounds like next week, we will have Cinematic ready and launched and out to the catalog. So very, very exciting. In the Code Lab, has been an extremely productive week. We've been working on the Accelerator WordPress plugin, and this has been one of the most productive weeks that we've had. The completion date hasn't moved any closer to now because we had a little bit of feature creep go on this week, where I went, oh, that's a good feature, I should put that in as well. And there's two types. When you're working on projects, there's either the client's going to be changing their request, which is the scope of the project, the scope creep, and then there's the feature creep, which is what the programmers tend to, I'll just throw this in, it'll only take me another hour, you know, and that happens all the time when I'm working on projects. Because you realize, oh, I'm right there, it only takes a little bit more to add in another rich feature. And so that's what happened a little bit this week. We were working on the interface for the Accelerator WordPress plugin, and in the admin dashboard for WordPress, and just being able to manage the different aspects of it. It's looking pretty slick, pretty happy about that. And then we're also working on the ability to scan each and every page in the WordPress site, including all the posts with Google PageSpeed Insights, and so be able to get the score and find out, you know, how your pages are ranking and that sort of thing. So we're really working towards, we're probably in the last 15 to 20% of the Accelerator WordPress plugin, and we're hoping probably, well, we're hoping now mid-August, but it'll be August sometime, and then we'll have that ready to launch to really speed up the web pages. Anyways, I hope you find that informative. If there is something in this video that you think somebody else would maybe like and find helpful, we would encourage you to like this video or share it with them. You know, our business is built on referrals and word of mouth, and just like many businesses are. And so, obviously, if you think somebody would like to know something about this, or you like this video, please click the like button or the share. Yeah, so anyways, thanks so much for joining. We hope you have a fantastic week. It looks like summer is finally here. It actually, yesterday, first day of summer, and actually was summer for a change. Fantastic. So it looks like a good weekend. We'll talk to you again next week, and again, thank you for joining me.